Hello, and welcome to the Hidden Archives. I'm your host, Philip Clark. In an effort to continue providing content until the beginning of Season 4, I've decided to start by doing an official wrapping up of the previous season. In today's episode, I will discuss in some detail what to expect from these bonus episodes, what you can expect in the next actual season, and finally, some show lore that is starting to manifest. Now, with all of that being said, on to business. I have decided to call all of these non-season pieces bonus episodes. You will be able to distinguish these from the regular season offerings by a title setup very similar to this one, where it starts with the word bonus and then has a description of the type of offering. For example, this one has been titled Bonus, Season 3 Wrap-Up. Another might be titled Bonus, Experimental Story, then the title of the story. I have done this so that you may decide what you want to hear. If you prefer to hear me talk about topics or explaining stories, these should be very easy to find based on title alone. However, if you prefer to seek out just entertainment, much in the manner to which you have become accustomed, as far as the Hidden Archives offers, these episodes should also be easy to find. This also implies that the type of content you will find until October 31st will be varied and offered, for lack of a better term, irregularly. Of course, I feel like I should explain why I'm doing this. My main reason is to make sure that you know the Hidden Archives is remaining active and wishes to keep you as a listener. It has always been my goal to provide free entertainment and distraction. Especially in these times where we see the price of everything going up and so much uncertainty, I think it is important to find some regularity and to have access to affordable distraction. A secondary reason why I'm doing this is, to be completely candid, to make sure that I remain at the top of my game. To make sure that the quality of this show only improves. After all, what good would it do anyone if you could only find subpar thrills? Essentially, this is a passion project for me. As you may know, I write, record, and edit all of these stories and episodes myself. I started this show as a way of sharing my work, as a way of gaining exposure. I know what it's like to navigate the world of publishing, and I know how difficult it can be to get noticed, to share one's own creative expressions. This show is my way around that. And on that note, I want to say two things. First, as a middle finger to the publishing industry, the Hidden Archives will always offer full episodes for free. With one addendum, at some point we do plan to monetize, but that will probably take the form of ads and/or crowdfunding. This is work after all, and work requires time and money, no matter how much you enjoy doing it. But the second thing I want to say here is that, at some point, I want to offer this platform, the Hidden Archives, and the Rhodes collaborative experience, as a way for you to share your own creativity. If you have artwork inspired by the show, a story you want to share, music of your own that you want to hear in an episode, or another artistic expression, then I would encourage you to contact me through social media. Maybe I can help you get your own start. I think that's the best I can say for what to expect from these bonus episodes. Honestly, I have a plan, but I want to remain flexible. I want to have some fun with this and explore some different avenues. That's all I'm going to say on that point. As far as what to expect from the next season, as I'm sure many of you are very interested in this, my plan is to focus on stories that are related to other stories that have already been featured here. This does mean that I plan on writing lots of sequels and prequels and the like. However, every story will still be a standalone idea, something that will make sense on its own without you needing to have heard something else before or after it. This is to keep in line with one central idea of the show, that it is not serialized. You can listen in any order or no order at all. But there are connections between some of the stories, and Season 4 will focus a lot on these connections. Well, I think this is a perfect jumping off point to talk about some of the lore that we are working on developing. I'll keep this brief because I want you to find some enjoyment in finding some of the connections for yourself. I want this show to stick with you even when it's turned off. I want you to think, because, to quote myself here from the last episode, I have always had a passion for literature with reason, and I think you should too. It might be important. It has been implied that the Hidden Archives is an actual physical location, a library of sorts. This is what the story Ex Tempus and Archivum is about. Later on, in a story titled The Witness, it is implied that this character, the Witness, has some effect on what stories find their way into the archives. Arguably, the last 5 to 10 minutes of this story are the most important. If you really want to start picking up on the grand storyline, I would encourage you to listen to the stories I am about to list in the order in which I list them. The Witness, Ex Tempus and Archivum, and What Do You Remember About Channel 3? In the next season, I do plan to follow up on these stories and several others. However, for now, I want you to know that there are already some common links. But I also want to demonstrate how these stories can be linked and still stand on their own. But I digress. Knowing a little bit more about my meta-narrative, I want you to have some fun exploring this. I think it might be fun to discuss these things too. So you can hit me up on social media with any ideas, or better yet, you can start discussions with other fans on my official social media pages, or in ones of your own making. Well, I think that about does it for today. I know it wasn't a whole lot, but I have a few months before the start of the next season to give you a little bit more. Of course, I believe at this point I usually tell you when the next episode should be out. So, the next bonus episode should be out next week sometime. That one will be an experimental story, but more details about all of that later. Follow the Hidden Archives on Facebook and Instagram at Hidden Archives Podcast, and on Twitter at Podcast Hidden to get more details and to interact. Thanks for joining me today, and I look forward to our next meeting. This has been a production of the Rhodes Collaborative Experience, LLC. Please no reproduction or duplication of any content without the expressed written consent of RCX or its partners. Ex Animo, Ex Tempus, and Archivum.